If you've seen my last video, you've seen that I created my own laptop cover. For those of you wondering, this is how. I used two different duct tapes for this one. I used silver and a blue chevron with two shades of blue. I have a pair of scissors. You need cling wrap, paper, a ruler, and some scotch tape, clear scotch tape. And if you want to decorate, you should get your Sharpies out. First, I created a template that fit the top of my laptop. I overlapped two papers like that, and I laid it out on top, and then I taped them together as seen. So this is about the size that I need my laptop cover to be. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure it. You'll need a mechanical pencil for this. Actually, it could be any pencil, but I use mechanical. And I measured the length and the width, and I got length of 12.5 inches and width of 8.5 inches. So next you're going to get out your duct tapes and your scissors, and you're going to cut out some duct tape fabric. So here I'm working really fast, not really, I just sped it up, and I cut 4 strips of duct tape that are at least 12.5 inches. They're all different sizes, and I taped them together. Then what I did was I took my cling wrap, and I found it was easiest to kind of get it not to stick to itself by taping it to the ledge of my table, as you'll see right here. And that way I can kind of smooth out those edges where it overlaps. And then I kind of just turned it on itself and I put it over the sticky part. Now, I had a lot of air bubbles, but you could kind of smooth these out by pressing it down with the different things. You'll see later I used the scotch tape to do it. And then I cut off the excess, and you'll see it's very thin. Now here I'm cutting the edges so that it's straight, or as straight as I can get it. And this is why I said mechanical pencil, because you could really see the lines with it. Then I cut on the line, and I got my silver duct tape fabric. Now I'm cutting it off again because I need room for my border. You don't have to put a border on, but I want to. I just cut along that line that I made. Now I put cling wrap on my fabric sheet because the material has to be really thin under my laptop cover. We have to wear these clear cases on our laptops because the school provides it for us. So it's very thin, and if it's any thicker, it's not going to stay. So now I trimmed off those edges, and now I'm taking my chevron blue and I'm creating 2 long strips that are at least 12.5 inches, and I'm gonna cling wrap the sticky part. And I actually ended up taping the the edges that were sticking up onto the table, but you can always cut that off in this process where you trim off the excess cling wrap around the sides. And then I did this for the other strip. Now this is too thick to be my border, so I'm basically cutting it in half. And you could eyeball it, you don't have to use a ruler and make lines. Um, but I decided to because it's easier. And then I did it for the other strip. So now I have these 4 thin strips. So what I did was I turned the strips upside down along with the fabric sheet and I taped them on. Now you'll see that I didn't cut one of my edges straight, so I took some of my scrap and I taped it on. So that way when you're looking at it you don't see any gaps between the border and the fabric sheet. Then I trimmed off the edges, and what I ended up doing was, since they don't stick to each other, I took a tiny piece of tape and I made one of those tape balls. I'm not even sure what they're called, but I basically, like a double-sided tape roll, and I stuck them in between the 2 layers of border so that they would stick. And then use your Sharpies to decorate. So here I'm trying to smooth it out. Yikes.